Velvet on the barrel, lipstick on the rim. Glass makes a halo where the lower lights dim. Laughter in the doorway fades like a bribe. A hush signs papers that a shout can't write. I don't hurry destiny, I make it arrive. Slow as a serpent that knows it's alive. Snap of a match, river of smoke. Every oath in the room remembers how I spoke. If temptation is a weapon, I call it mine. Honey on the edge with an iron spine. She stepped like a verdict, gold at her throat. A comma in the sentence only kings can quote. I said danger, mouth said prove. Hip like a metronome telling the groove. She drew a heart in the fog of my glass, then smudged it clean with the back of her laugh. Baby, she said, what buys your calm? Time, I said, and the feel of my palm. I count by silences, tax them like rain, stack them like bills in a patient man's brain. The piano confessed in D minor sighs, while the horn barking daylight from night's disguise. She touched the cufflinks, silver and cold, found her reflection in the story I told. Don't reach for my pulse if you don't know the deal. I'm soft to the touch, but the softness is steel. Her smile drew blood without leaving a mark. I signed with a nod and she lit the dark. If desire is a ledger, here's a figure. Every sweet nothing is a velvet trigger. Breathe slow, let the room lean in. Sugar on a tongue, gun under the grin. Call it love, call it ransom, call it art. Every gentle touch is a blade with a heart. I keep my thunder hidden in a velvet case. Let temptation talk while I save my face. If the night wants proof, I'll pour it down bigger. Pulling fate with one finger on a velvet trigger. No rush, no roar, just a sovereign sway. A kiss like a contract that won't decay. If power needs sugar to make man shiver, I sweeten the barrel of the velvet trigger. Backroom choir hums through the vents. Brass like incense, sins like sense. The dealer blinked twice, the waiter looked away. Somewhere a rumor forgot what to say. She traced the map of the scars I don't show. Named every street by the secrets I know. Where does it hurt? She asked with a grin. In the places I win, I said and win again. A perfume wrote scripture on the leather banquet. A gospel of wages I don't regret. I've learned to forgive what I never allowed. I've learned to be quiet when quiet is loud. She put her hand where a holster might be. Found only patience and keys to the sea. Is it love or a lesson? She breathed near my ear. It's whatever survives after smoke and fear. The band bent notes till the ceiling curved. In time like a valet waited and served. If mercy is a currency, I'm a careful giver. I tip the night with my velvet trigger. I learned restraint from a loaded dawn. From a door I could open but chose to yawn. From a rival who guessed and a friend who knew that patience is cheaper than cleaning the room. The city keeps secrets in the teeth of the rain and writes their initials on subway stains. She asked for a truth I never recite, so I gave her a silence tuned just right. Promise me something you can't rescind. Alright, I said, I won't pretend. If a crown must weigh, I'll let it weigh. If a love must cost, I'll gladly pay. Her laugh walked barefoot across my nerves. Balanced a blade on the curve that curves. Steady now, Let the strings draw near, make the bass confess what the brave won't hear. Paint the silence black, edge it in silver, kiss like a verdict from a velvet trigger. I keep my thunder hidden in a velvet case. Let temptation talk while I save my face. If the night wants proof, I pour it down bigger, pulling fate with one finger on a velvet trigger. No rush, no roar, just a sovereign sway. A kiss like a contract that won't decay. If power needs sugar to make men shiver, I sweeten the bearer, all a velvet trigger. Breathe through the fuse, don't rush the fire. Let restraint be the choir's choir. When the night leans in like a careful giver, sign with a kiss from the velvet trigger. I keep my thunder hidden in a velvet case. Let temptation talk while I save my face. If the night wants proof, I pour it down bigger, pulling fate with one finger on the velvet. No rush, no roar, just a sovereign sway. A kiss like a contract that won't decay. If power needs sugar to make men shiver, I sweeten the bearer of the velvet trigger. Velvet trigger, velvet trigger, velvet trigger, velvet trigger. Lights thin out till they're barely a thread. The door takes a bow like it's paying its debt. I leave 2 bills and a promise to deliver. The manos kono to match quiet lover. Had a tame but he is hung on plans till he had no put up. He just pops up. My velvet trigger. Streetlight spills like a silver confession across the pavement where the wind keeps score. I measure my calm in the length of my shadow and count out the promises I can't ignore. A window blinks, the city turns its shoulder. I keep my collar up against the cold. Silence is heavy but it doesn't break me. It chisels my will into iron and gold. There's a rusted gate that sings when I pass it, like a memory learning how to breathe. I could chase ghosts till the morning forgives me, but I learn what stays and what needs to leave. There's a map in the cracks of the sidewalk, a secret compass under my feet. Every turn writes a vow in the gravel. Walk with patience, never retreat. Neon rain drips from the awnings, spelling stories I rarely tell. I keep my words like coins in a pocket, spent only where silence won't do as well. Old mistakes sit quiet on benches, tipping hats as I wander by. They're not friends, but they know my posture. Back straight jaw, easy eyes on the sky. I used to run where the rumors were louder, hunting thunder just to test my name. Now I sip slow from the cup of the evening, let the bitterness teach me a different flame. The alley breeze, a harmonica distant, the tone of a promise I'm learning to keep. I'm not lost, I'm exacting my choosing. Where I sow is where I'll reap. In the night, ask softly, who do you carry? I answer, only the man I'm meant to be. If the road is narrow, let it be narrow. My stride is steady, my hands walk free. I walk alone but not lonely. I've got a mirror for a friend and a shadow for a guide. D minor on my tongue, heart slow and holy. Every step a quiet oath I sign inside. I don't shout for the world to know me. I let the rhythm of my boots declare my creed. I walk alone but not lonely. A planet seed, becoming what I need. There's a key in the curve of the moonlight. It turns in the lock of my ribs. Patience hums like a low burn fire, feeding muscle to my fibs. I used to swear by the crowded tables, cards and smoke and restless deals. Now I trade in hours and focus, stacking bricks no rumor steals. The river speaks under iron bridges, cold and clear with measured grace. It tells me, hold your sinner, traveler, when the inside you're in the race. A passing train rides sparks on the darkness, Morse code for a stubborn heart. Read it true, keep walking softly. Every master was once apart. And the dawn sits waiting behind the warehouses, a thin pale blade that will cut me clean. If I bleed today, let it be old out, let courage fill the space between. I walk alone but not lonely. I've got a mirror for a friend and a shadow for a guide. D minor on my tongue, heart slow and holy. Every step a quiet oath I sign inside. I don't shout for the world to know me. I let the rhythm of my boots declare my creed. I walk alone but not lonely. A planet seed, becoming what I need. Whispers on brick, the city remembers all the versions of me that try to impress. One by one I fold them and file them, thank them kindly, then lay them to rest. Slide to toss size like a door near closing, but I'm the hinge that refuses to rust. I am the keeper of small sure choices. Stone by stone I build my trust. If thunder comes, I won't chase it. Let the storm announce itself. I got weather in my marrow and a compass on the shelf. Reaches nothing without grounding. Grace means power with a leash. I set the table for my hunger, serve it discipline for each. I walk alone but not lonely. I've got a mirror for a friend and a shadow for a guide. D minor on my tongue, heart slow and holy. Every step a quiet oath I sign inside. I don't shout for the world to know me. I let the rhythm of my boots declare my creed. I walk alone but not lonely. A planet seed, becoming what I need. I walk alone but not lonely. Not empty, full of quiet speed. Streetlight fades, a vinyl crackle widens. I count my steps, then let them go. Where I'm headed doesn't need a witness, only a promise kept low and slow. Fade on the river of breath, fade on the ink of the road. I walk alone but not lonely, becoming the man I already know. guitars swing slow like they know my name. The bass walks steady, the night feels tame. A hush comes down like a velvet cloak. I light the match, raise the smoke. The room leans in with a silver grin. Power speaks softer than a violin. In the dark, she nods, she's seen this road. I wear my calm like a heavy coat. Move like thunder, you don't quite hear. A close-cut suit, a glass, no fear. I traded rage for a colder flame. Let silence do the heavy game. My shoes say little, my eyes say more. I own the room without the roar. Every breath is a quiet stroke, a crown you only see in smoke. The mirror lights hum, the bottles gleam. The floor remembers where I've been. I carve my code in nights like this. No wasted word, no reckless kiss. The band plays low, the snare says wait. The clock keeps time with measured fate. I take my seat, the world takes note. A crown you only see in smoke. Ain't no preacher teaching this control. It's learned by losing what you stole. You trade your thunder for a pulse. You tame the beast, you kill the false. Let pride dissolve, let fear revoke. Wear patience like a tailored cloak. And when the noise begins to choke, you rise, a crown in smoke. So pour one for the men who rule the room, with quiet hands and eyes that bloom. He laughs low, no need to boast. He wears a crown the night can host. It hums like silk, it cuts like oak. A power born of calm and oath. I ain't begging fate or hope. I wear my crown in smoke. She walks on past with a sideways glance. A little test, a noble dance. I tip my glass, the message lands. I lead with silence, not my hands. No sudden moves, just measured grace. No chase required to win the race. Let others burn, let others choke. I hold my crown in smoke. I built my laws on steel and skin, on debts I paid and fights I didn't. No easy wins, no cheap applause, just bruised respect and final cause. I lose the rush, I keep the soul. I play the long, deliberate role. When tempers break and bargains croak, I breathe a crown in smoke. The man in the mirror lifts his brow, says, son, you finally learned it now. Power ain't loud, it's poison proof. It's how you stand beneath the roof. No grin required, no sharpened blade, just presence of the men obeyed. I nod once slow, the lesson spoke. A crown you only see in smoke. The band leans back, the bass grows warm. The snare keeps time like a heartbeat charm. A whisper passes, table to table. Respect untold, a living fable. No name announced, no banner flown, just gravity that I've outgrown. The air gets thick, the doubts go broke. They see my crown in smoke. Pour one for the man who don't compete, who wins by never leaving his seat. He hums low, he holds a note. Yeah, he wears a crown in smoke. Raise your glass to the steel that's kind, to iron calm and disciplined mind. No roar, no shove, no cloak, just a quiet crown in smoke. Oh, the lights descend to amber gold. The groove grows while the pulse grows bold. Each note declares without a word the simplest law I ever heard. Own your breath, unlock the yoke, let patience wrap you up in smoke. And when the room leans close to choke, exhale. The crown in smoke. I ain't holy, I ain't tame. I just refuse the frantic game. I aim my fire, I ration heat. I leave the chaos at my feet. I earn my soul, I press my will. I move the night by standing still. And when the doubts rise up to joke, they drown beneath my smoke. Ain't no choir singing my name, just bass and breath and tempered flame. No trumpet blast, no drums that poke, just the hush that crowns the yoke. The strong don't beg, the wise don't poke. They float their names on rings of smoke. And when the noise begins to choke, I smile, my crown is smoke. Oh, so pour one for the quiet kings who rule with calm, not sharper things. For the men whose word outweighs the cloak, who wear their crown in smoke. No throne, no bell, no gilded joke. Got her arms of him on the eaves. Window rides rivers down the leaves. Roof keeps time with a fingertip drum. Lightning signs quiet, thunder stays numb. Key in the lock like a whisper refrain. Welcome home to a house made of rain. I didn't build this place out of brick or bone. Didn't stack proof just to call it my own. I gathered what fell from a restless sky, the salt of losses, the tears I denied. I learned the angles water prefers, how grief turns gentle when nobody stirs. I framed the rooms with slowed down breath, mortared the corners with patience and rest. No nails of pride, no doors that shout, just hinges of mercy that open out. I swept the noise from yesterday's veins and laid these floors with a hush that remains. Count to four with the rafters bend, let the drip find rhythm and call it a friend. If memory knocks with a suitcase of blame, show it the same, let the rainfall explain. In a house made of rain, I'm clean again. Walls of weather, floors of wind, roof of forgiveness, beams of refrain. I'm home in the hush of a house made of rain. No fire to prove, no crowd to entertain, just me and the hymn of a house made of rain. kitchen light flickers like a faithful nurse, measuring pulse in the coffee's verse. The kettle exhales what the night held tight. Let's old names soften and learn to be light. I shelve the thunder beside the door, labeled it only if peace asks for more. My coat hangs wet with an honest past. It drips in a bucket, I empty at last. There's a chair that forgives the weight I bring, a towel that crowns me with nothing like king. This roof doesn't keep the storms away, it teaches me how to stay. Breathe on forward till the bass says stay. Let the snare brush puddles into play. If pride arrives with a loud acclaim, turn down the lamp, let the rain know your name. In a house made of rain, I'm clean again. Walls are weather, floors are weather, roof of forgiveness, beams of refrain. I'm home in the hush of a house made of rain. I bless what broke and what remained, built in a room in a house made of rain. Bedroom window holds a silver sheet, city's heartbeat softened and sweet. I count the breaths I used to spend on doors that jammed and wars to defend. But water rewrites the story I kept, turns razors to rivers where swords once slept. It polishes shame like a blackened toy, till face and purpose rejoin. I keep a ledger for gentler dues, debits of anger, credits of truce. Balance returns like an evening train, arriving on tracks made of rain. Hold your count, let the strings lean low, let piano drip notes you already know. If guilt demands an iron chain, rinse it to rust in the mouth of rain. In a house made of rain, I'm clean again. Walls of weather, floors of wind, roof of forgiveness, beams of refrain. I'm home in the hush of a house made of rain. No witness needing no domain, built breathing bread in a house made of rain. Bring me the words I spoke too fast, I'll soak them soft till the edges pass. Bring me the locks I forced for proof, rain will repair the honest roof. Bring me the letters I never sent, we'll float them down the basement then. Let the guitar bend like a bowed down spine, let trumpet glow like a street lamp sign. If mercy is water, then I'm the clay. Save me slow, wash one river. Say less, hold true, count four, come through. Hallway mirror fogs with a second chance, finger draw circles where I used to glance. The man in the glass looks old ashore, but kind in the lines where storms mature. I thank the leaks that taught me pails, like the temporary roofs that became my tales. I learned that shelter isn't dry, it's where your worry comes to lie, where grief is a guest with a decent bed, and blame is a coat you learn to shed, where love is a mop, not a closing door, cleaning the footprints you adore. 4 beats soft like a cotton hem, let the past get quiet at the brim. If rage returns to stake its claim, it leaves in silence, washed by rain. In a house made of rain, I'm clean again. Walls of weather, floors of wind, roof of forgiveness, beams of refrain. I'm home in the hush of a house made of rain. I mend, I breathe, I lose the strain, and sleep like thunder after rain, after rain. In a house made of rain, I'm clean again. Walls of weather, floors of wind, roof of forgiveness, beams a refrain. I'm home in a hush of a house made of rain. Ride it in water, let doubt complain. It has no proof where the rain remains. If someone asks how I lost the chain, I answer, I learned to live in a house made of rain. Drip slow down to a monk-like clock. D minor breath and the windows lock. I killed a lame bill, two chords played. Oh, hearts made of red then. In a house made of rain. A quiet hill with the grass laid low. Telephone wires hung with the seasons know. Boot soles find the truth of ground. Piano of crickets, no other sound. I open my palms to whatever's been and feel the old clean way of the wind. I used to fight weather with iron lungs, argue with thunder like it owed me songs, chased every rumor with a sharpened shoe, turned every whisper to something I do. But storms get bored of the boy who shouts. Teach him the value of leaving things out. Now I stand smaller and hold more sky. Let clouds pass through without asking why. The trees keep counsel with a patient sway, counting to 4 till the rage goes gray. A leaf rides past with a saint's small grin. It knows how to travel the weight of the wind. Breathe on 4, don't force the air. Let your ribs be a rocking chair. If pride wants volume and velvet skin, answer softly, carry the wind. The weight of the wind is light but sure, a tender burden I can endure. It presses and blesses the bones I mend. I bow a little then rise again. No crown, no witness, no oath to spend. Just me and the old clean weight of the wind. I learned to repair what I used to replace, to sand down anger to a workable grace, file off edges that begged for blood, trade iron for patience and fire for wood. My name used to knock like a bailiff's fist. Now it arrives like a morning mist. I keep my promises near the wrist, so when I reach, they won't be missed. A widow sweeps her stoop 2 doors down, hums a hymn that wears no crown. We share a nod that could feed a town, a treaty of ordinary, worn like a gown. The wind signs off with a cedar's pen, rights carry less on the skin of men. Count to 4 while the snare stays thin. Let the heart say stay and the breath come in. If yesterday asked to be loud again, point to the hill, say, listen, wind. The weight of the wind is light but sure, a tender burden I can endure. It straightens posture, slows the end, teaches a spine how not to bend. No throne, no trumpet, no staged amen, just me and the old clean way of the wind. There's a coat I wore through a furious age, lined with the clatter of a louder stage. I hang it now on a quieter hook, let fabric remember what rage once took. My hands smell faintly of oiled old keys, doors I can open without making pleas. Not every lock needs force to spin, some undo easy with the wind. I measure my strength by what I spare, by paths I leave for others to wear. If a bridge needs toll, I'll pay in peace, offer my silence by release. I'm learning to lose like a patient friend, to give the victory to the wind. Breathe on full, let the drums stay low, let the strings lean in, then let them go. If fear demands a harsher end, answer with breath, usher with wind. The weight of the wind is light but sure, a tender burden I can endure. It lifts my anger from under the skin, turns sharp to round turns, lost to kin. No medals pinned, no debts to spin, just me and the old clean way of the wind. Bring me the doors I slammed for proof, I'll hinge them soft beneath this roof. Bring me the names I said too fast, I'll speak them slow till the hardness past. Bring me the miles I sprinted thin, I'll walk them back in a steadier skin. Let guitar bend like a reading prayer, let bass say home on the lower air. If courage is quiet, it sounds like this, a breath held true, a moment kissed. Say less, stand still, count to 4, let it fill. Daylight sits quiet on a workbench scar, dust makes halos with the tools now. Piano breath, a low D chord, my hands remember what they're for. No crowd, no clock that needs a jury, just honest work with hands without hurry. I hammered my youth to a louder law, built fast kingdoms out of raw. The nails looked brave till the boards pulled thin, speed was a show I kept within. Now I square the wood till corners rest, let patience choose which cut is best. I sand the edge till the splinters learn that time is a teacher that doesn't burn. I oil the hinge and watch it sing, a quiet arc that spares the spring. The door behaves like a truer story. That's what you get with hands without hurry. Count to 4 on the ribs, not eyes. Let breath be the rule that squares your lies. If pride says faster, smile and defer. What's meant to last prefers the slower. Hands without hurry, they hold, they mend, they stay. They make a room sturdy and keep the sharp away. No neon needed, no borrowed jury, just work made right by hands without hurry. The street outside wears a softer shoe, the kind that walks what it means to do. A neighbor waves with a fence half broke. We trade 2 planks and a lighter yoke. He says I rushed it, I say we've all. Then measure twice so boards don't fall. We share the weight on the end that bites. Leave room for swelling on rainy nights. He breathes like someone who found his floor. I find my peace at his front door. The screw seats slow till threads find glory. Another job done with hands without hurry. Breathe on 4, let the snare stay low. Let piano leave space where meanings grow. If yesterday begs for a faster story, let today reply hands without hurry. They hold, they mend, they stay. They make a room sturdy and keep the sharp away. No neon needed, no borrowed jury, just work made right by hands without hurry. I've learned the grammar of grain and glue, how oak keeps secrets, how maple's true, how mercy sands down a jagged word, how screws don't strip if your faith's not hurried. I fix a chair where a child will climb, building a rhythm that honors time. My knuckles wear a wiser stain, not blood, not brag, but honest grain. I keep a box of screws I save for days when lack meets love I brave. A measured drawer labeled ordinary glory, a craftsman's gospel hands without hurry. Count to 4 till the pulse sits right. Let strings bow warmth instead of might. If thunder lobbies for its story, let hinges vote for hands without hurry. They hold, they mend, they stay. They make a room sturdy and keep the sharp away. No neon needed, no borrowed jury, just work made right by hands without hurry. Bring me the locks I slam for show. I'll oil them now and let them go. Bring me the names I carved too deep. I'll plane them smooth where children sleep. Bring me the miles I sprinted thin. I'll walk them back with broader skin. Let slide guitar band once and rest. Let bass keep time inside the chest. If victory wants a quicker glory, teach it a slower, better story. Say less, stand plain, count to 4, remain. Evening leans through an open frame. Paint dries level without a name. I write the date on the windowsill, sign it small so the house stands still. A letter waits with a grateful line. About that table holds just fine. I fold it twice like a carpenter's square. Lay it flat and remember there. What I repair repairs me too. The proof is the life that passes through. Soup on Sunday, a story's glory. Feet on floors cured without hurry. Hold that 4, let the rim click fade. Let patience harvest what time has made. If pride asks who will tell your story, I'll point at the door that open surely. They hold, they mend, they stay. They make a room sturdy and keep the sharp away. No neon needed, no borrowed jury, just work made right by hand without hurry. I touch the bench where a boy will learn, teach him the grain and how clamps turn. He asks why wait if we know it fits, because I say wood has its wits. Because a life is a house you build with edges eased and anger stilled. Because strong isn't fast, it's true. Strong is a door that won't bruise you. He nods like rain when it finds a field. We glue the joint and let it yield. He'll leave today with a simpler story, how men grow tall with hands without hurry. Hands without hurry. Hands without hurry. They hold, they mend, they stay. They make a room sturdy and keep the sharp away. Law, neon, needed, no borrowed jury. I'm biased, we're hands without hurry. The arrows wheel like a closing friend. Streams bubble low, the mercy's in.
The bass hums low beneath her name. The kind of heat you can't contain. Her perfume burns through cigarettes and with silk, and she's aware. The lights go soft, the air turns thin. She moves and the world gives in. The night she breathes, she pulls me in, whispering velvet sin. Her hands talk slow, they never plead. They draw the lines I swore I'd free. Her lips taste like a final prayer, half redemption, half despair. Each breath she steals feels like reward, each silence sharper than a sword. The blues hum low beneath her skin. I'm trapped in velvet sin. She don't speak, she just commands, a quiet queen with trembling hands. The candle melts, the bass drops slow. Every beat says what we both know. I ain't holy, but I play pretend. Her eyes don't judge, they just transcend. Every move she makes drags me in, deeper into velvet sin. No preacher saves the lustful kind. No law restrains the storm in mine. The night forgives what dawn exposes. In heat the devil wears roses. I feel her pulse beneath the skin. The light is gone, I cave within. And in that sound, that trembling grin, I drown in velvet sin. So pour one for the fools like me, who chase what they ain't meant to see. She hums my name through bass and gin. Yeah, that's velvet sin. It moves like smoke, it breathes like flame. Every sigh repeats a name. I ain't fighting, I give in to that velvet sin. The sheets don't lie, they memorize the rhythm born in whispered sighs. A shadow dances across the wall. A hymn of lust, the night's last call. Each note I play, she turns to hate. Each pause a promise I can't fake. And though I burn, I grin within, lost inside her velvet sin. She said you're calm, but you still crave peace. Don't feel what chaos gave. I laughed slow, said you're not wrong, then kissed the truth we'd built so long. The baseline throbbed, the air grew tight. Our sins turn gold beneath that light. If heaven calls, I won't begin. I'm staying in velvet sin. The man in the mirror looks amused. He knows the rules, I just refused. He says you traded grace for skin. I said yeah, but I'd trade again. No guilt, no plea, no disguise. Just truth behind these tired eyes. And in the smoke she breathes again, that velvet sin. The bass still moves beneath the shame. The groove don't end, it hums her name. I try to fight, but lust's too kind. It holds my throat, rewrites my mind. A kiss tastes like another life. With guilt's a lover, not a knife. I know I'm lost, but I don't resent this velvet sin. Pour one for the man who burned too slow, who found his peace where sinners go. He hums low and smoking gin. Yeah, that's velvet sin. Raise your glass to the hearts that fall, to those who feel through it all. No heaven waits, no discipline, just velvet sin. The moon on the morning breeze amused. He knows the rules, I just refused. He says you traded grace for skin. I said yeah, but I'd trade again. No guilt, no plea, no disguise. Just truth behind these tired eyes. And in the smoke she breathes again, that velvet sin. The bass still moves beneath the shame. The groove don't end, it hums her name. I try to fight, but love's too kind. It holds my throat, rewrites my mind. Her kiss tastes like another life. With guilt's a lover, not a knife. I know I'm lost, but I don't resent this velvet sin. Pour one for the man who burned too slow, who found his peace where sinners go. He hums low and smoking gin. Yeah, that's velvet sin. Raise your glass to the hearts that fall, to those who feel through it all. No heaven waits, no discipline, just velvet sin. Drums lean soft, the floorboards moan. The sound feels sacred, flesh and bone. Each thump's a pulse, each note's a flame. Each whisper knows the body's name. She laughs, I fade, the lights grow dim. The bass forgives what prayers condemn. And in that sound, that cardinal hymn, we worship velvet sin. I ain't holy, I ain't right, but I'm alive an endless night. She don't promise, she don't stay, she just breathes my
morning rose open on a kitchen tile. Steam writes mercy in a cursive smile. I count my breath like coins I sign. When the battles are over, there's nothing left but kind. I kept a ledger made of iron and ash, roll out totals in a soldier sash. I measure men by the weight they threw, built taller walls than truth could chew. But doors don't sing for a fist that pounds. They learn their hands that spare their sounds. I traded thunder for a humbler grind, and found the only wealth I keep is kind. Now small tool weight where anger stood, a cloth, some oil, a plan for good, a quiet bench, a cherry line. What power remains is the power to be kind. Count to 4 with the ribs, not pride. Let breath be the long, clear guide. If memory knocks with a sharpened mind, set down the blade, pick up the kind. There's nothing left but kind. When all the gold goes dim, when neon quits its grind, and brass forgets to hymn, no louder crown to find, no sharper law to sign. When life is finally on the line, there's nothing left but kind. I pass a stoop with a lopsided rail, 2 screws shy of a safer tale. A neighbor shrugs, I meant to fix. We trade a laugh for a nail, 6 ticks. No sermon there, no proof to stay, just borrowed time from a quieter age. He says, you saved me, I shake my head. You'll do the same for someone's bread. We write a treaty with a level line, tight grain joint, the edges fine. The street learns patience intertwined with smaller words that chooses kind. Breathe on forward, let strings lean low, let piano leave space where meanings grow. If pride returns, politely blind, open the window, calling kind. There's nothing left but kind. When all the gold goes dim, when neon quits its grind, and brass forgets to hymn, no louder crown to find, no sharper law to sign. When life is finally unaligned, there's nothing left but kind. I wore a suit that made rooms bow, silk like thunder on a clever brow. It held my fears with polished pins, looked like power, felt like sins. I hung it up where ghosts undress, watched it wilt into something less. Denim and linen, learned my spine, taught my shoulders a gentler line. What good is iron without a door? What good is more when you need restore? I stitch my name in a softer bind, a coat that fits the weather of kind. Count to 4 till the heart stands sure. Let quiet be strong and good be pure. If yesterday asked for a stricter fine, offer your hands and call it kind. There's nothing left but kind. When all the gold goes dim, when neon quits its grind, and brass forgets to hymn, no louder crown to find, no sharper law to sign. When life is finally on the line, there's nothing left but kind. Bring me the locks I forced for show, I'll oil them now and let them go. Bring me the names I said too hard, I'll speak them soft in the backyard. Bring me the miles I sprinted thin, I'll walk them back with broader skin. Let's slide guitar band once then rest, let bass keep time inside the chest. If victory begs for a neon, shrine. Feed it bread and water it kind. Say less, stand plain. Count to 4, remain. A letter waits with the quiet things, by the hinge, by the garden planks. I folded twice the simple way, a receipt for time. I chose to stay down at the corner, a widow's stairs, at groceries tall as a public cares. We split the weight across 2 streets, neither hero, just human feats. No choir called, no coin was signed. We reached the door, the rest was kind. She touched my wrist, said, bless your mind. I answered yours, we're both aligned. Hold that fold, let the rim click, pray, let mercy sign the day. If thunder knocks with a blazing mind, show it the same, we're in sync kind. There's nothing left but kind. When all the gold goes dim, when neon quits its grind, and brass forgets to him, no louder crown to find, no sharper law to sign. When life is finally underlined, there's nothing left but kind. I open a drawer of unmailed lines, apologies stitched to winter vines. Some I send with a steady pen, some I keep for the kitchen's amen. A boy drops coins in a dented jar, saves for a bite like a private star. I add a bill in a folded slide, don't sign my name, let luck decide. He looks my way and doesn't know. That's the point of certain glow. The brightest lights are undesigned, they warm the room and leave it kind. There's nothing left but kind. When all the gold goes dim, when neon quits its grind, and brass forgets to him, and bright it is still, oh the windows blind. The church it half forgets to him. I don't need to find it, it's still a sign. When life is finally underlined, there's shooters crying, I'll never fail.
Morning leans quiet on the window frame. Dusk turns patient in a band of flame. Kettle hums low like a church that knows. Piano tests D, then lets it close. I lift my eyes and lose in ambition to learn again the way the light listens. I used to speak first, loud and soon, chase the dawn like I owned the moon, argued with the walls that had no tongue, wore out words till the words wore none. But years grew soft where the corners were sharp, sand and mercy tuned my heart. Now sunlight waits at the edges of things like a hand on a hinge that never stings. It doesn't judge the cracks it finds, it fills then leaves them kind of lines. It bends around our rough decisions as if it knows the way to listen. Count to 4 with the ribs, not pride. Let breathe be the long, clear guide. If memory knocks with the trumpet's mission, answer with quiet, watch, light, listen. This is the way the light no lecture, only grace. It warms the cup, forgives the chip, still loves a weathered face. No banner, no conditions, no courtroom in the sky, just warmth that learns your story and doesn't ask you why. On the porch boards carry the day's last rain, tiny mirrors of yesterday's pain. A sparrow sips courage from a silver bead, tells the gutter what we need. Across the street a widow lives, a grocery sack with Sunday thrift. I taken in, the bag grows light. She says it's nothing, I say it's right. The sun steps down the narrow lane, polishes ruts without a name. It hears the tired, the torn, the christened, and shows me more of how light listens. Breathe on full, let piano wait, let strings say mercy, not a late. If pride wants lights and loud decisions, open the door, let daylight listen. This is the way the light listens, no lecture, only grace. It warms the cup, forgives the chip, still loves a weathered face. No banner, no conditions, no courtroom in the sky, just warmth that learns your story and doesn't ask you why. In the sink, plates testify, scratches on its edges shine. So bright halos on a working bowl. I rinse the day, receive my roll. The mirror edits what pain would sell, leaves the truth that fits me well. Not a hero, not a sin, just a man who lets light in. I button patience, stitch it slow, wear a shirt the seasons know. Even the stain becomes permission, a map that taught how light can listen. Count to 4 till the heart stands sure, let quiet be strong and good be pure. If thunder begs for your admission, turn down the dial, let light do listen. This is the way the light listens, no lecture, only grace. It warms the cup, forgives the chip, still loves a weathered face. No banner, no conditions, no courtroom in the sky, just warmth that learns your story and doesn't ask you why. Bring me the locks I forced for show, I'll oil them now and let them go. Bring me the names I said too hard, I'll speak them soft in the backyard. Bring me the miles I sprinted thin, I'll walk them back with whiter skin. Let's slide guitar bend once and rest, let bass keep time inside the chest. If victory wants a neon christening faded breath, then teach it listening. Say less, stand plain, count to 4, remain. A child chalks planets on the wall, orbits held by simple talk. She names the small one, second chance, gives it room to learn its dance. Her mother laughs and shades her eyes, the street turns gold with fewer lies. And no one calls this miracle, it's just the world when hearts are full. The light kneels down to tie their day, holds the knot then walks away. I see it bow to our conditions, proof and school of how light listens. Hold that for let gratitude accrue its way. If history asked for your position, point to the porch. That's where I listen. This is the way the light listens. No lecture, only grace. It warms the cup, forgives the chip, still loves a weathered fate. No banner, no conditions, no courtroom in the sky. Just warmth that learns your story and doesn't ask you why.
The room leans close like it wants to learn. The bass ticks slow like a measured burn. The lights go low, the noise turns thin. I press my breath and settle in. My watch taps time against my palm. A quiet storm, the weight of calm. The night, she nods, she knows this song. A crown that rests in the weight of calm. I walk that line between steel and silk, where heat runs slow like warm milk. No need to shout, no fists to show. I let my presence set the flow. My shoes draw maps on oak and grain. The snare keeps time inside my veins. The city bows without alarm to the measured weight of calm. Cufflinks flash like lightning there, but thunder hides in how I stare. I lift the glass, the room complies. 1,000 doubts grow civilized. I choose my words like polished stones. I lay them down to build their throne. The floorboards hum my private song, a kingdom built on the weight of calm. Ain't no preacher, teacher, steady hand. You learn by losing what you plan. You trade the road for something deep, a pace that moves while others sleep. You let the fire dodge the bomb. You hold it close, you keep it warm. And when the storm expects your harm, you answer with the weight of calm. So pour one for the man who never rushed, whose silence makes the loud ones hush. He laughs low, he won't disarm. He rules the night with the weight of calm. It hums like oak, it sways like steel, a patient force the proud can feel. I ain't begging fate or charm, I move the world with the weight of calm. The band sits back to let me breathe. The organ smoke threads through my sleeve. The guitar bends like tempered will, a single note that holds you still. The barmaid nods, she knows this tune. When measured men light up a room, no tempest here, no cheap alarm, just the quiet weight of calm. I learned to fold my anger neat, to iron rage with controlled heat, to close my fist around the wind, to say much less and still content. I count the beats, the drummer highs. I read the eyes the crowd provides. Where others run, I simply song and win by weight of calm. The man in the mirror lifts his chin, says, boy, I see you learn to win. Not by blaze or sharpened tongue, but by the breath you hold in lung. No sword to wave, no flag to claim, just poise and patience in your name. He taps the glass, confirms the charm. You're crowned by weight of calm. She enters slow with silver eyes, a question hid in her disguise. She waits to see if I will chase. I let the stillness take her face. A tilt of glass, a glance of grace. No frantic moves, no crowded space. The bass grows stand the weight of calm. Pour one for the man who reads the tide, who makes the storm itself subside. He hums low, keeps that psalm, he crowns the room with the weight of calm. Raise your glass to iron grace, to silent heat and steady pace. No shout, no bluff, no bomb, just sovereign weight of calm. The groove pulls tight like tailored car. The tempo breathes a sacred oath. Each note holds back just half a breath. A dance with danger, not with death. I set the air in measured harm, a lullaby of a weight of calm. The room leans in, the doubts grow small. They fall beneath the weight of calm. I ain't holy, I ain't tame, I just refuse the frantic game. I bank my sparks in tempered steel. I spin them slow, so fake and kneel. I carry storms in quieter jars. I steer by scars instead of stars. When chaos begs for open palm, I close my hand with the weight of calm. Ain't no choir singing me through, just bass and breath and follow through. No trumpet blast, no gilded bomb, just heartbeat under weight of calm. The wise don't race, the strong don't swarm. They tune the night to their reform, and when the noise demands a song, I whisper back with the weight of calm. So pour one for the sovereign few, whose quiet tells the world what's true. He laughs low, refuses harm. He moves the dark with a weight of calm. No throne, no flare, no gilded palm, just breath that turns a riot calm. And when I fade, remember balm. I wore the night with weight of calm. I've seen heat burn itself to slow. Towel jarred and it's so stew. Greg Wesley plays in duty palm. By chits as strongs, they're sort of on. But I keep time with a pace of pine. I hold the flame, I hold the coals. The west of my breast, he knows the song. I measure weight of calm. The wind still hums through the broken blinds, a soft reminder of changing times. The glass half full, the fight half done. The war I waged, I finally won. The smoke don't cling and drifts away, like all the debts I used to pay. In the dark she smiles, she keeps the score, but the night don't owe me anymore. I chase the dawn with bloodshot eyes, trying to bury what truth implies. Each dream I lost, I called it fate. Each sin I loved, I dressed as great. I walked through storms, I begged for pain, just to feel alive again. Now the fire's out, the whiskey's poured, but the night don't hold me anymore. jukebox hums a tired refrain, a song I played to drown the pain. The barmaid nods, she knows my face. She's seen regret in every case. The stool still creaks beneath my weight, a ghost of pride, a twist of fate. But the chair don't judge, the floor don't mourn, and the night don't owe me anymore. Ain't no preacher left to save my kind, just the echo of peace I find. You can fight the dark, but it never dies. It just weighs beneath your sighs. The blues don't cure, it just forgive. For every fool who still relives, I took my last, I closed that door. The night don't owe me anymore. So pour one for the man who found his peace when the noise fell down and the doubt ceased. Laugh slow, calm to the core. Yeah, the night don't know him anymore. It hums like mercy, soft and slow, a quiet truth he's come to know. He ain't seeking fight or war, 'cause the night don't know him. Photos cracked but still looks kind. The love's long gone but not declined. I talk to her like she's still near, tell her what I couldn't clear. A smile don't fade, it just forgives, a shade that knows how silence lives. I used to bleed for what she wore. Now the night don't owe me anymore. Learn that loss ain't always pain. Sometimes it's just the end of rain. The sun still sets, the soul still mends. You learn that peace don't mean it ends. I burned my guilt, I kept the scar, a map to show me who we are. And though I've sinned, my spirit's soul. The night don't owe me. Man in the mirror don't talk tonight. He just nods once under pale light. He don't accuse, he don't forgive, he just shows the way I live. He says, boy, the fight's been long, but every wrong wrote you a song. And I smile back the same as before, 'cause the night don't owe me. My heart don't race like it used to do. It beats slow, quiet, clean and true. The blues still play but soft refined, like a scar that learned to stay behind. I hum along, no pain, no score, just rhythm born from what I swore. The ghost still knocks, I don't implore. The night don't know me. That begged to stay, he hums low like peace reborn. Yeah, the night don't know him anymore. Raise your glass to the soul set free, who found their calm beneath the sea. No throne, no sin, no Lord. The night don't know him anymore. The bass walks slow, the chords ring clean, the kind of peace you've never seen. No crowd, no noise, no open door, just quiet worth fighting for. Each note I play don't echo roar. It breathes the night, don't know me anymore. In that silence, rich and pure. The night don't owe me. I ain't holy, I ain't new, but I've made peace with what's true. Looking for some grand return, just a calm I had to earn. The dawn can come, I won't resist. I'll meet it clean, no clenched fist, no debt, no sin, no war. The night don't know. Ain't no choir, no open gate, the hum of fate that waits. The blues face off, broken hum low, like a hallway prayer. Brass holds its breath in the chandelier air. Snare taps once, an oath on the skin. Upright bass counts everywhere I've been. Men line up like shadows in a pew, hats in their hands like something they knew. Tonight we tied in a different church, where loyalty pays and the faithful purge. They say allegiance is a velvet chain, looks like gold, tight like rain. You wear it proud till it bites your throat. You kiss the ring while you sign the note. The room knows names that the city won't speak, where strong men kneel to keep the weak. A look from me says clock's too slow. I lift up my glass, says yes or no. I didn't climb shouting on a borrowed stair. I moved like smoke and made men care. I kept my rage folded, iron thin, saved it for days when the odds won't spin. But every covenant carries a fee, the part of you can't set free. I ask for loyalty, nothing less, and pay it back in carefulness. Count to 4, keep the blade unseen. Let the hush stay sharp and clean. If a promise has weight, let the bones agree. Every yes costs part of me. This is the price of obedience. Gold on the wrist, ghosts in the vents. You keep your word till your word keeps you, and the bill comes due when the night turns blue. I bless my man with a steady hand, hold their fear like a wedding band. We don't buy thunder, we lease the sky. Pay with silence and never ask why. The soldier steps forward, jaw tied tight, eyes like a bridge between wrong and right. Says, boss, I stood where you told me stand. Held my breath, did not raise hand. But my brother fell when I spared a fool. Mercy was warm, the world was cruel. I answer slow, you did what's mine. Obedience first, revenge in line. Your grief is a ledger I sign tonight. You'll have your due when the time turns right. He nods like a bell that refuses to ring. We both swallow iron and call it a thing. I've learned that guidance is a narrow street, where every mile rubs faith on your feet. You carry them in, or you let them drown. Either way, the weight is a crown. Count to 4 while the organ moans. Let the snare ride truth on bones. If duty aches like a winter bloom, hold one breath for the silent room. This is the price of obedience. Gold on the wrist, ghosts in the vents. You keep your word till your word keeps you, and the bill comes due when the night turns blue. I bless my men with a steady hand. Hold their fear like a wedding band. We don't buy thunder, we lease the sky. Pay with silence and never ask why. There's a scripture etched on the backroom door. Take orders clean, or don't take more. A choir of jackets hangs and waits, elbows polished by patient fates. She slips from the shadow with chapel eyes, smells like the truth in a perfect disguise. Says, tell me, king, what your crown can't hide. I say the cost of the faith on my side. Every nod I give is a cut I keep. I send men walking and I lose my sleep. I trade my tenderness coin by coin, make a rosary out of what I joined. She touches my cup like a chalice rim. Here's the hymn I won't let brim. This power of mercy, she asked the throne. It is if the guilty walk home alone. Horn size low like a priest grown tired. Snare brushes ash from a night rewired. Count to 4, let the verdict land. Steel in the throat, silk in the hand. Count to 4, let the verdict land. Steel in the throat, silk in the hand. If love and duty must collide, let duty walk and love abide. This is the price of obedience. Gold on the wrist, ghost in the vents. You keep your word till your word keeps you, and the bill comes due when the night turns blue. I bless my man with a steady hand. Hold their fear like a wedding band. We don't buy thunder, we lease the sky. Pay with silence and never ask why. Bring me the vow that outlives fear. Bring me the hour I can engineer. Bring me the name.
Hallway breathes like a cathedral lung. Frames on the wall where the old songs hung. Carpet remembers every careful shoe. Piano at the far end holding something true. One chair waits where the moonlight falls, like a verdict that forgives these walls. I walk without hurry, counting it all.
Every quiet of thunder I refuse to call. I kept a kingdom with a borrowed hush, turned storms to wages and rage to brush. Names like land and some bright, some thin, mercy sewn under a suit made of sin. I learned the cost of an honest delay, how to buy dawn from a ruin of day. The city grew gentler when the noise grew small. Now it's just me and the chair in the hall. I don't need guards for the breath I keep. Truth walks beside me like a child in sleep. The portraits lean close as if to recall how a man can be crowned without raising a wall. Count to 4 while the echoes learn. Let the old brass soften and the strings return. If power asks what it's for at all, say to set down the weight when the night grows tall. Oh, here's a chair at the end of the hall. Wood like a witness, bag like a call. I sit with the quiet I taught to stand. Lay down the crown in an open hand. No trumpets needed, no banners to fall. I earn my rest in the chair at the end of the hall. The floorboards confess where the years walked slow, where boys became men and learned how to know. A glass on the table holds yesterday's rain. I raise it to absences that lessened our pain. The velvet trigger, the silent room, the table of names, the whiskey gloom. All of them stitched in a single line, thread of restraint through a darker design. If glory is heat that forgets to heal, let legacy be the cool of steel. I don't need statues to make me tall. I measure my height by who didn't fall. Breathe through the hinge as the door unlearns. Let the lamb write gold on the lessons that burn. If peace is a tax that the restless pay, I've paid it nightly in a measured way. Here's a chair at the end of the hall. Wood like a witness, bag like a call. I sit with the quiet I taught to stand. Lay down the crown in an open hand. No trumpets needed, no banners to fall. I earn my rest in the chair at the end of the hall. She steps from the shadow with smoke in her hair. A sermon of patience, a long steady stare. Says, tell me what kings keep under the skin. I say a ledger of moments they didn't give in. The mercy they chose when the math said no. A door they unlocked so a boy could grow. The letter they wrote and never sent. The anger they folded and let relent. She nods like a clock that forgives the time. Writes my answer in D minor rhyme. And sit, she whispers, let silence enthrall. Wear nothing but truth in that chair at the hall. Count to 4 till the breath turns round. Let the bass place roots in the ground. If love is a law with a gentler drawl, it's signed in the chair at the end of the hall. Here's a chair at the end of the hall. Wood like a witness, bag like a call. I sit with the quiet I taught to stand. Lay down the crown in an open hand. No trumpets needed, no banners to fall. I earn my rest in the chair at the end of the hall. Bring me the nights I return, still armed. Teach my hands the grace of discern. Bring me the names I carried like stone. Let the stone feel lighter finally alone. Bring me the roads I refuse to flood. Let justice be water, not blood. Bring me the throne made only of choice, where law is a breath and mercy a voice. If endings are crowns that quietly fall, place it in wood, the chair at the end of the hall. No witness, no noise, only the hum of a measured poise. Count to 4. prayers for the places he's been. I promised his mother I'd guard his name, kept it unbroken through profit and blame. A rival's grin, lips faint in a frame, softened by time, renamed by the same. I learned that victory, smaller and sure, outlives a triumph, it dies immature. So I chose to fix over televised fire, build quiet ladders from honest wire. If someone asks where the empire is drawn, point at the windows that survive the dawn. Let the strings bow low, then rise, let the brass breathe truth without disguise. If fate takes notes while the footsteps fall, it writes them here. At the end of the hall, here's a chair at the end of the hall. Wood like a witness, back like a call. I sit with a quiet, I taught to stand. Lay down the crown in an open hand. No trumpets needed, no banners to fall. I earn my rest in a chair at the end of the hall. Hands on the old briefs, bone thin. Pianos be like a following band. Streams mean into the night goes wet. That's bows out with a timber prayer. The room forgets to breathe a while. The bays walk slow in measured style. The lights hang low like patient eyes. A straightened truth removes disguise. A match goes out but leaves its heat. The snare taps vows beneath my feet. In the night she nods without defiance. She knows a king built out of silence. I laid my bricks on quiet ground, where thunder fades and nerves unbound. No shouting crown, no borrowed praise, just steady hands through weaker days. I learned to make the chaos stop, to build a roof that will not fall. When storms arrive with cheap reliance, I answer with a house of silence. I took the road that bends through rain, let patience clean the bitter stain. I spend my pride in smaller coins and fix my spine in broken joints. The mirror bowed, the rage withdrew, and in its place the iron grew. I learned to tune the world's appliance by holding time in quiet science. Ain't no preacher teach this art. You learn it losing half your heart. You let the hunger slow it spin. You lock the door and breathe within. Shape the flame, you choose its height. You keep it fed but out of sight. And when the noise demands compliance, you answer with your built-in silence. So pour one for the man who never boasts, who save their words for when they're most. He laughs drives slow, unmoved by violence. He wears his power built from silence. It hums like oak, it shines like stone, a sovereign calm that stands alone. I ain't begging fate for guidance. I move the night with forged out silence. The barmaid knows when storms walk in. She sees the swagger, hears the din. She sets my glass, the room takes note. A hush slides under every throat. The organ breathes a velvet chord. The kick keeps time with no reward. A single nod, a small compliance. The whole place turns on quiet science. Keep my laws and leather bound. No gilded edges, plain and sound. Hold back your heat, conserve your fire. Let once be tested by desire. Speak once, speak true, then let it stand. Correct your course with open hand, and never trade your soul for pence. You're worth the price of your own silence. The man in the mirror taps the frame, says, boy, you finally learned your name. It ain't the roar that gets it done, it's staying still, the battle's won. No blade to wave, no stage defense, just presence, weight, and consequence. He points and smiles a mild alliance. Your crown is carved from patience, silence. A murmur climbs from jealous chest, a petty tide that swells and crests. They bait the spark, they prime the fuse. They hope I'll light what they can't use. I raise my hand an inch or two. The wave forgets what it should do. The snare resumes, the bass finds guidance, obedient to measured silence. Pour one for the man who reads the sign, who slows the storm with steady lines. He hums low, declines the violence. He bends the dark with built-in silence. Raise your glass to iron grace, to eyes that calm a crowded place. No throne, no roar, no license, just sovereign heat and crafty silence. Becomes a beam, a pillar set in midnight scene. The room suspends its restless weight. The breath of doubt learns how to wait. The groove lays bricks to dawn broke soft across the sky. I swore I'd buried every sin, but the devil just smiled and walked back in. His boots made sound on my quiet floor, each echo louder than before. In the night she smirked with knowing grin. The devil walked back in. He came with charm, with velvet tone. Said, "You look calm, but you're alone." I laughed and said, "Those days are gone." He poured a drink, said, "You're not done." His shadow danced, the glass leaned near, whispering truths I used to hear. And though I prayed, I let him in. The devil walked back in. The bottle sang that old refrain. Each drop of memory, each taste the same. The fire rose like it never left, a sweet old wound I call my theft. He said, "Peace is dull, but pain's divine. Let's bleed a bit between the lines." And I, a fool with tired grin, said, "Hell pour two, let's begin." No preacher warns a comfort snare, the kind of sin that feels like air. You think you're clean, you think you won, then one small whisper and it's done. The blues don't end, they just pretend to fade a while and come again. And I smile back without chagrin. The devil walked back in. So pour one for the man who tried to heal, who found his calm then lost the deal. He laughs low, caught in a spin. Yeah, the devil walked back in. It hums like lust, it breathes like sin, a dance too sweet to not begin. He ain't seeking peace within, 'cause the devil walked back in. We made a deal, no words, no hands, just silence where temptation stands. He said, "You're tired but not done yet. You missed the burn, you missed the sweat." I nodded once like an old friend's game. He knew my face, he knew my name. The light dimmed slow, the air turned thin, when the devil walked back in. The strings cried out beneath my hand, like a preacher lost without command. Each chord cut deep, each been confessed, each note a scar I still possessed. He said, "Play me one for the sins you keep, the ones that wake you from your sleep." And I obeyed with a crooked grin, when the devil walked back in. The man in the mirror raised his glass, said, "You knew he'd come, it always lasts." He don't shout, he don't condemn, he just says, "You're still one of them." I chuckled low, said, "Guess I am." A sinner bound by his own hand, and in the smoke beneath my skin, I felt the devil walk back in. The bar lights hum, the silence breaks, the past arrives with all its aches. The taste of guilt still bittersweet, a rhythm my heart won't delete. He said, "Boy, the blues ain't gone, it's you. It just sleeps until you call it through." I smile soft and raise my gin, to the devil walking in. Pour one for the man who can't resist, who finds his heaven in the twist.
comes low, gives in again. Yeah, the devil walked back in. Raise your glass to the one and wild, to every lost, corrupted child. No redemption, no amen. The devil walked back in. So pour one for the souls that bend, who make peace only to sin again. For every heart that can't rescind. Yeah, the devil walked back in. No crown, no flame, no kin, just smoke and laughter wearing thin. And when I fade beneath this grin, the devil walked back in. I see men pray just to fear the fight, then beg for calm when it both fires. I see Joe kiss and miss the sand and both smile. It's that close dear, the mouth appears when I would air. She just knows we're up high, so I lays my best to rolling kin. The devil walked back in. D minor dawn on a window pane. Kettle speaks low like a patient vein. Dust writes mercy where morning grew. I touch the sill, the light, the brew, and breathe it in like something new. When all that's left of me is quiet, all that remains is true. I kept a ledger etched in bone, names like rivers, debts like stone. I weighed my days on iron scales, told the night my storm-born tales. But metal rust and thunder tires, water beats the tallest spires. What's left behind when the brag is through? A chair, a lamp, a faithful screw, a hinge that sings a house to you. Not much to crown, just much to do. I learned to bless the small of you. When I am done with proving, all that remains is true. Count to 4 with ribs, not pride. Let breathe be the long, clear guide. If memory wants a brighter dew, pour a tea and let it cool. The truth is patient, simple blue. When all that remains is true.
No crown,
no stage, no debt to suit,
just bread
and light and work you do. A name that fits a soul that grew. The thunder falls, the day comes through.
I set my hands to honest you.
I am the quiet proof I knew. When all that remains is true. I hung the suit that wore my fear, watched the velvet disappear. Silk can't hold a bending heart, gold can't keep a home from part. I traded heat for humble flame, lost some glory,
found a name. I fixed a gate, I fixed my pace. I left a seat at every place. The letters I never found, the time arrived in chores and cleaner lines. A widow smiled the way grief does, half assault and half a trust. The street said thanks, the hinges too, in oiled metal. Truth came through. Breathe on forth, let strings lean low, let piano leave space where meanings grow. If pride returns to argue blue, point to the door, it swings like new. And all that remains is true.
No crown,
No stage, no debt to suit,
just bread
and light and work you do. A name that fits a soul that grew. The thunder falls, the day comes through.
I set my hands to honest use.
I am the quiet proof I knew. When all that remains is true. I kept a drawer of unmailed lines, apologies stitched to winter vines. Some I sent, the rest I wore inside the coat that learned me more. The mirror edits what shame would sell, leaves the face that fits me well. Not a savior, not a saint, just a man who learned restraint. I count the rooms that made me new, the sink, the porch, the wooden pew, of any chair that held me through. Forgiveness built in grain and glue, no witness needed, nothing due. I breathe, I live, and call it true. Hold that fort till the heart stands sure. Let quiet be strong and good be pure. If thunder begs for one more cue, smile once kindly, you're almost through. And all that remains is true.
No crown,
No stage, no debt to suit,
just bread
and light and work you do. A name that fits a soul that grew. The thunder falls, the day comes through.
I set my hands to honest use.
I am the quiet proof I knew. When all that remains is true. Bring me the locks I forced for show, I'll oil them now and let them go. Bring me the names I held too tight, I'll speak them soft and make them right. Bring me the miles I sprinted thin, I'll walk them back with broader skin. Let slide guitar bend once thin, rest, let bass keep time inside the chest. If victory wants a neon view, feed it supper salt and two. If power asks what it should do, make room at tables, keep love true. Say less, stand plain, count to four, remain. A child chalks planets on a walk, orbits held by patient talk. She names the small ones second try, gives it time to learn the sky. Her mother laughs, the light agrees, folds a ribbon on the trees. Across the lane a neighbor calls, fences holding thanks to all. I wave and carry bread inside, let ordinary be my guide. The room receives my working shoes, floorboards hum their honest news. The house exhales a humble cue. When life is this, the world is true. Count to four with a longer trust, let brass breathe warm above the dust. If history asks what's due from you, answer chairs and time and true. And all that remains is true.
No crown,
No stage, no debt to suit,
just bread
and light and work you do. A name that fits a soul that grew. The thunder falls, the day comes through.
I set my hands to honest use.
I am the quiet proof I knew. When all that remains is true.
When all that
window open to a D minor sky. Curtains slow dance with a faithful sigh. Kettle forgets to sing on time. Room holds still like a patient rhyme. I sit with nothing under my teeth and hear the place where silence learns to breathe. I used to fear the soundless floor, rush my soul through every door, fill the choir with pilot lights, kept alarms to warm my nights. But clocks get tired of saving face, and thunder stumbles out of place. The day I put my armor down, the room exhaled without a sound. A chair said stay, the lamp said live, the sink said wash what you can't forgive. I listened soft to the air beneath, the gentle rise where silence learns to breathe. Count to 4 with the ribs, not pride. Let breathe be the long, clear guide. If memory knocks with a harsher wreath, open the door where silence learns to breathe. Where silence learns to breathe. It isn't empty, it's alive. It keeps a pulse you hardly see. It helps your better names arrive. No neon crown, no crowded creed, just steady light. Where silence learns to breathe. Street hums low like a kindly drum. A moth writes cursive on the sun. The calendar loses all its teeth. Every task finds gentler sheet. I pour the coffee slower now. Let steam translate a quieter vow. A neighbor waves with a mended sleeve, says fence holds better if you leave a little room for wood to swell. I nod, my heart has learned that spell. Give distance space, give sorrow sheath. You'll hear it change when silence learns to breathe. Breathe on forward, let strings lean low. Let piano leave space where meanings grow. If pride returns with a frantic plea, point at the chair, sit down, just be. Where silence learns to breathe. It isn't empty, it's alive. It keeps a pulse you hardly see. It helps your better names arrive. No neon crown, no crowded creed, just steady light. Where silence learns to breathe. I keep a drawer of unmailed lines, apologies stitched to winter vines. Some I send with softer ink, some I shelve so time can think. The mirror does a kinder job, leaves out the blade, keeps in the saw. I set my jaw to rest, not rule. Let mercy take the sharper tool. The house remembers how I've grown, teaches me rooms I thought I owned. They own me back with quiet teeth. They choose the page where silence learns to breathe. Count to 4 till the heart stands sure. Let quiet be strong and good be pure. If thunder begs for headline reef, turn off the page, let silence breathe. Where silence learns to breathe. It isn't empty, it's alive. It keeps a pulse you hardly see. It helps your better names arrive. No neon crown, no crowded creed, just steady light. Where silence learns to breathe. Bring me the locks I forced for show. I'll oil them now and let them go. Bring me the names I said too hard. I'll speak them soft in the backyard. Bring me the steps I marched in vain. I'll walk them home in evening rain. Let guitar bend once and rest. Let bass keep time inside the chest. If victory wants a brighter sheath, I'll feed it bread where silence breathes. Say less, stand plain, count to 4, remain. A widow waters her porch fern slow, hums a hymn the old bells know. We trade a nod across the street, a treaty sealed without a sheet. No sermon, no heroic claim, just breathe that spells a truer name. The dog lies down between our feet. The day grows soft, the hour sweet. I learned to love the quiet's teeth, how gentle bites teach lungs to breathe. Hold that 4, let the rim click fade. Let mercy harvest what time has made. If history calls with a restless wreath, answer with work and cleaner breath. Where silence learns to breathe, it isn't empty, it's alive. It keeps a pulse you hardly see. It helps your better names arrive. No neon crown, no crowded creed, just steady light. Where silence learns to breathe. Night puts amber on the kitchen tile. Kettle takes its time a while. I close the drawer of unmailed pleas, light one lamp and rinse the keys. Ledger shuts with 2 small signs, carried together and left room for minds. No trumpet needs to bless this wreath, it's holy work where silence learns to breathe. I dim the house to a single line, a narrow goal that reads be kind. I guess I found the man beneath, the one who heard his silence breathe. Where silence learns to breathe. Door shuts off like a verdict done. Dusk glows gold where the lowlights run. No clock ticks, no breath too loud, just breath and bass beneath the shroud. Whiskey hums rules no tongue can name, and silence wears a tailored frame. One nod, one glance, the whole room bends. Power begins where volume ends. Men chase thunder till they lose their feet. The quiet crowns never taste defeat. I build my throne with folded noise, train my hands to handle poise. Every size a contract sign, every stair a boundary line. They speak in rush, I move in wait. Patience my slowest state. The map on the wall bleeds in shade. Every block a promise paid. I rule by pulse, by pace, by tune, by the rhythm of the silent room. Count to 4 before you speak. Let your breath dress iron sleep. Truth is a blade that hides its bloom.
That's the first law of the silent room. These are the laws of the silent. No shout, no glare, no borrowed boom. Stillness cuts where anger fumes, and kings are crowned in the silence. Thunder's needed, sell it soon. Buy your peace from the hush of the room. Rule 1, don't trade time for pride. Keep patience sharp, wear it inside. Rule 2, forgive once, not twice. Mercy cheap is mercy's vice. Rule 3, never speak to fill the space. Let silence show your face. Rule 4, if rage must knock, feed it calm, change its clock. Rule 5, loyalty sings best unheard. One look replaces 1,000 words. She sat across, smoke in her hair, eyes like riddles that knew I'd stare. Tell me, boss, what buys your calm? Time. Time, I said, and a steady palm. Time. She smiled, a spark that begged for flame. I smiled back, but kept the aim. Do your laws forgive? She sighed. Once I said and never lied. Ash fell slow, verdict divine. Silence spoke the word align. Breathe in, forth, hold the floor. Let the snare hum what truths war. If words can kill, then peace can grow. That's the creed of the silent room. These are the laws of the silent room. No shout, no glare, no borrowed boom. Stillness cuts where anger fumes, and kings are crowned in the silent room. Bring me oaths that don't need sound. Bring me grace that walks unbound. Let brass eyes slow like a sinner's tune. Let the strings confess to the moon. If power must breathe, it should breathe light, cool and constant through the night. You don't win wars, you let them fade. That's how a dynasty's made. Patience counts coins no bank can weigh. Collects respect, the loud repay. Silence ain't empty, it's earned. Every pause is something learned. A boy once came with a lot of men. Voice too quick, needs that band. Boss, he said, I talk too proud. I said, then learn to speak out loud. Only when your heart's in tune, else you pay with ruin soon. He nodded slow, his fear went thin, and left a man instead of sin. The woman smiled, glass half low. Your peace, she said, still bleeds control. I said, control's not cold, it's kind. It saves what chaos leaves behind. We shared the quiet like a prayer. Each sip a lesson, stripped and bare. Count to 4, don't break the chain. Let rhythm wash away the pain. If thunder's proud, then quiet's groom. Bow your
tell it soon. Buy your peace from the hush of the room. Who rules the night with unseen tune? The man who breathes in the silence. Who bends fate without costume? The hand that goes.
The floorboards hum like a hidden vein, a silver pulse beneath the grain. The lights lean low, the room holds still. I count my breath, I tune my will. A watch clicks time against my skin. The night inhales and lets me in. In the dark she smiles, she knows this waltz, a crown that beats in silver pulse. I walk like thunder, wrapped in cloth, a quiet oath, a tempered froth. My shadow folds along the wall. I don't need height to stand up tall. The baseline nods, the glasses stay. I pay in patience, not in sway. The room pivots on my pulse. Silver steady, never falls. Cufflinks glint like midnight vows. I keep my calm, the world allows. A leather chair, a whisper seat. The groove obeys my measured feet. No fever pitch, no frantic boast, just heat that moves from coast to coast. I speak in breaths, the crowd consults, riding law in silver pulse. Ain't no preacher teaching this restraint. You earn this nerve by what you ain't. Don't chase the noise, don't beg the thrill. Let power rise in quiet skill. It climbs the spine, it finds the walls. It turns your doubts to dwindled salts. And when the world demands results, you answer with a silver pulse. So pour one for the kings who never shout, who let their rhythm take the doubt. He laughs low, keeps perfect waltz. He wears his crown in silver pulse. It hums like steel, it sways like silk, a slow burn storm in satin milk. I ain't asking fate for bolts. I move the night by silver poles. Lays back to let me breathe. The snare's a whisper under sleep. The organ sighs, a smoky thread. The lights draw halos round my head. No empire built by louder hands outlasts a man who understands. A leader bends the air he holds, time sharp as minted gold. I learned to take the longer path, to split the storm in halves of math. I spilled my rage, then kept the cold. I feed it slow, it feeds my soul. A smile so slight, it barely moves. A nod that tells the city's grooves
Relax your fists, release the jolts. Let strength arrive in silver poles. The man in the mirror lifts his chin, says, boy, you found the calm within. It ain't the roar that rules the room, it's when your silence shapes its tune. No blade required, no bargain rage. You turn the page, then set the stage. He taps my wrist, I hear the waltz. The watch keeps time in silver pulse. She enters slow, a comet's curve, with eyes that test a man's reserve. I tilt my glass, I do not chase. Control is how the strong embrace. The bass grows warm, the chatter fades. The air commits to cleaner grace. She reads the stillness that exalts, a quiet crown in silver pulse. Pour one for the man who doesn't rush, whose greatest weapon is his hush. He hums low, keeps steady walk. He crowns the night with silver pulse. Raise a glass to the iron calm, to eyes that soothe instead of harm. No storm to spark, no blame to dose, just sovereign heat and silver poles. A single note becomes a rope, a hush becomes the richest coat. The hammer's breath like velvet smoke, the snare's a metronomic spoke. I lay a palm upon the oak, the lacquer mirrors what I spoke. The room leans in, the fire molts. We sail by a star of silver posts. I ain't holy, I ain't tame, I just outgrew the frantic game. I pace my heat, conserve the burn, let lesser tempers twist and churn. When greed arrives to take its cut, the whiskey burns, but it don't clean. I've outlived enemies, outlasted friends. The mirror grinned with a borrowed face, a ghost of pride, a hollow grave. The smoke don't rise, it just abides between my truth and what hides inside. In the night she smirked, she seen my vice, the man I buried twice. I buried him young with charm and fire. Thought ambition could take me high. I wore his name like a velvet lie. Smiled to strangers, let the real one die. The crowd applauded, the world agreed, but all they saw was my disease. He came back slow through empty rooms and whispered smoke and unpaid tunes. I heard him hum through my guitar, a voice too close, a wound too far. He said you built the dream but lost the soul. You played the part but paid the toll. I poured a drink, looked in his eyes at the man I buried twice. No preacher saved what I became, just echoes whispering my name. You can trade your youth for gold and fame, but you can't cheat loss, it's the same old game. The blues don't heal, it just implies that truth's a debt the soul supplies. And when I pray, I hear his sighs, the man I buried twice. So pour one for the man beneath the skin, the one I killed to let me win. He laughs low, a haunting vibes. Yeah, the man I buried twice. He hums my songs in shadow rhyme, keeps my guilt in perfect time. I ain't seeking peace or paradise, just a man I buried twice. The glass don't lie, it cracks instead. Every line's a thing I said. Each wrinkle hums a quiet sin of who I was and could have been. I tried to run, I tried to hide, but he walks with me side by side, and every silence redefined the man I buried twice. I tell the night my secret crime, that I stole my truth to buy some time. I traded love for a louder cheer, and all that's left is the man right here. He don't blame, he just observes the hollow life my pride deserves. And though I breathe, I pay the price to the man I buried twice. The man in the mirror grins in gray, says you're still me, you just decay. He don't shout, he don't curse my name. He says we're both just built from blame. He lights a smoke, says let's be clear, you're still the reason I'm still here. And as the blues repeats its advice, he smiles, the man I buried twice. He said I watched you drown in golden flame, watched you chase pride, forget your name. I tried to warn, but you wouldn't hear. Now you're the ghost that I revere. I asked him, low, can I return? He said no flame proclaims its burn. I closed my eyes, rolled my dice with a man I buried twice. Pour one for the man who lost his soul, who paid his dues but not his toll. He still hums low through fire and ice. Yeah, the man I buried twice. Raise your glass to the ones who fall, to the proud who build their own downfall. No redemption, just advice from the man I buried.
truth unfolds. The blues don't age, it just grows old. Each note I bend bleeds something true of who I was, of who I knew. The room falls still, the air precise. It echoes the man I buried twice. And in that hush, no faith, no lies, just the man I buried twice. I ain't holy, I ain't right.
The bass exhales like a sleeping flame. The room leans close to hear my name. A silver curl of smoke takes turn. I wet my lips on the gentle burn. The clock keeps time in velvet clicks. The snare suggests the pulse is fixed. The night she nods, prepared to learn how power moves in a gentle burn. Keep my heat behind the eyes, a quiet truth that never lies. No spark to boast, no torch to wave, just slow fire other men crave. My shoes write maps across the floor. My breath unlocks a waiting door. The air grows soft, the edges turn. The room is mine by a gentle burn. Her perfume slips along the bar. A comet sent from where we are. Tilt the glass, the bass agrees. The organ hums like summer breeze. No rush to chase, no need to prove. I let the silence make the move. One heartbeat more, the doubts adjourn. She draws to me by a gentle burn. Ain't no preacher teach this art to pace the flame and guard the heart. You bank the coals, you slow the turn. You win the night and how you burn. No sudden flash, no reckless churn. Just patience fed to what you yearn. And when the nerves begin to yearn, you lift the lid of gentle burn. So pour one for the man who never rushed, who stirred the room with breath and hush. He laughs low, lets embers turn. He owns a night by a gentle burn. It hums like silk, it glows like wine. It draws the soul on its own time. I ain't begging fate to learn. I warm the dark with gentle burn. She finds my gaze and holds it light. Not quite a dare, not quite a fight. Her smile arrives the way he does. A slow reveal, the body love. I trace the rim of crystal glass. Let moments breathe and let them pass. Her hand lifts once, our rhythms turn. We talk in code of gentle burn. I learned to bank the blaze within, to keep the edges smooth and thin, to aim desire like a bow, to make it sing but never show. A whisper here, a measured glance, a shift in weight, a smaller stance, while others flare and then they churn. I hold the line in gentle burn. The man in the mirror tips
shakes his head, says, boy, you feed what should be fed. You don't ignite what should be earned. You let the lesson come unspurned. No fury trick, no brittle turn, just proof in how the embers burn. He taps the glass, the truth returns. Control his heat, the body learns. The band sinks low to clear the lane. The snares a whisper on the grain. Kicker hard beneath the floor, invites the soul to want for more. Slide guitar like satin thread, stitches hush to what I said. The light goes warm, the corners churn, they lean toward the gentle burn. Pour one for the man who knows his heat, who keeps it close and makes it sweet. He hums low, lets embers turn. He rules the room by a gentle burn. Raise your glass to the patient flame, to steady hands that never claim. No violent spark, no savage turn, just sovereign calm and gentle burn. Becomes a vow, a soft come here without a sound. The rhythm opens like a door, the heat invites, not shouts for more. A hush collects on every face, desire guided, set in place. The groove unbuttons line by line, the burn grows gentle by design. I ain't holy, I ain't tame, I simply mastered how to aim. I let the warning find its shape, I keep the blaze inside the drape. I know the cost of fire's wild, they leave the heart a wayward child. But here I stand where lessons turn to power fed by gentle burn. Ain't no choir singing up my name, just bass and breath and careful flame. No trumpet flare, no sudden turn, just velvet room and embers firm. The wise let hunger bloom in peace, they slow the hand, release, release. And when the nerves begin to learn, they circle round the gentle burn. So pour one for the sovereign few, whose quiet heat makes old things new. He laughs slow, lets moments turn. He wears a crown of gentle burn. No throne, no blade, no fevered yearn, just breath and time and earned return. And when I fade, remember, learn, learn. The night is won by gentle burn. I've seen wild flames consume the room and leave behind a colder gloom. I've watched men chase the spark too hard and burn their hands on their own guard. But I keep heat that doesn't scar, a warmer truth that doesn't spark. Stole with my brace, love a heißen tell. The glass stays still while the room leans in. Your shadow breathes where you begin. The bass walks slow, the air turns wide. I hear the storm in the fire you hide. A match unstruck, a coil of heat. The snare taps vows beneath your feet. And the night she waits, eyes open wide, to watch you guard the fire you hide. You wear your comb like a tale of truth, a seasoned grace that outgrows youth. No sharpened word, no reckless swing, just silence set like a steady ring. Your hands don't twitch, your eyes don't plead. You let the room learn what you mean. The crowd grows careful, side to side. They feel the heat in the fire you hide. A cufflink shines like a practice star, a tiny signal for who you are. The organ whispers a velvet thread, a warning soft as a prayer unsaid. No fevered breath betrays your flame, no lifted chin to shout your name. But I can hear the thunder ride, a horse made quiet by the fire you hide. Ain't no preacher blessing this control. You learn to losing what you stole. You bank the blazing iron jars. You steer by silence, not by stars. You count to 10, let pride subside. Let ash turn cold and coal abide. And when the world demands your side, you show them all the fire you hide. So pour one for the man who never shout, whose steady pulse dissolves the doubt. He laughs low, won't break the tide. He moves the night, with fire he hides. It hums like steel, it warms like wine, a sovereign heat with no headline. I ain't begging fate to guide, I lead with all the fire I hide. She finds your gaze and tests the frame, a curious spark that wants a name. You tilt your glass, refuse the chase. You let her learn the shape of grace. The bass grows thick, the chatter fades. A hush collects like midnight breeze. She leans toward the darker side, drawn by the gravity you hide. You learn to fold your anger neat, to iron heat with measured beat, to close the fist without the blow, to make the storm decide to slow, to turn the fuse into a threat, to bank the flame without a debt, to let the hunger be a guide, a kept clean, righteous fire you hide. The man in the mirror lifts his brow, says, boy, I see, you've learned it now. It ain't the roar that rules the room, it's how you breathe, how long you bloom. No blade to wave, no brittle pride, just heat with no else to ride. He taps the glass and seems to glide. You're crowned by all the fire you hide. A murmur builds from jealous throats, a little storm that swells and floats. They test your edge, they court your name, they bait your pulse to brighter flame. You raise one hand and inch at best, the riot crawls back in its chest. The snare assumes its faithful stride, obedient to the fire you hide. Pour one for the man who holds his ground, who slows the storm without a sound. He hums low, lets truth decide. He bends the night, with fire he hides. Raise your glass to iron grace, to eyes that hush a crowded place. No rhino blade, no careless pride, just sovereign kept clean fire he hides. A single note becomes a road, a hush becomes the strongest code. The hammer breathes a chattel tone, the floorboards words vow you're not alone. A wrinkle thread beneath the tide, a friend spilled but kept inside. The room leans in, the sparks divide. They learn to trust the fire you hide. And I ain't holy, I ain't tame. I simply outgrew aimless flame. I spend my sparks where they belong. I buy my peace with measured strong. I keep my fury polished, healed. A blade that never leaves a shield. And when the loud ones want a guide, I show the path by fire I hide. Ain't no choir singing this restraint, no trumpet for the patient saint. The proof is how the lightning waits, how even thunder hesitates. You want the key, reduce the stride, let walk grow wise and heat reside. And when the world pulls either side, stand still inside the fire you hide. So powerful, the sound of fuel, whose quiet tells of what is true. He lives slow, lets time beside. He moves the dark with fire eyes, the joy of fire and a reckless ride. Just breathe and know the temper pride. And when the fate remember tide, my crown was in the fire high. The shady routes of this is coasting in, and can't go back from the different. I was watched Gangster squeeze the street, and driving single, open spin, and fit the street. Couldn't find
Morning steps over the old back fence, a soft gold mercy without pretense. Dust turns holy in a patient ray, and for the first time in a long, long time, the light decides to stay. I used to hold my breath for storms, build my walls in thunder forms, kept a code for every doubt, wore it in and never out. I learned to hold my noisy doors, sweep the anger off the floors, name the tools of men today, and leave the rest to walk away. Now coffee warms a gentler bone, silence feels like something grown. The window rides a softer way, the light knows me and it stays. Count to four with the ribs, not pride. Let breathe be the long, clean guide. If yesterday knocks with a louder say, smile one step back, let daylight play. Light learns to stay, it doesn't beg for proof. It climbs a slave of an ordinary roof, pours through the rooms I used to grade. No trumpet, no parade, just mercy without sway. I open both my hands and watch the light learn how to stay. I walk the block with a listener's gate, arriving early, leaving late. A neighbor's hinge confesses rust, we share a rag and trade in trust. Two kids chalk rings around the sun, argue colors, call it done. The mother laughs at working him, I hold the bag and breathe with them. I used to crown myself with flame, burn the evening just to name a victory no dawn could wait. Now light keeps score by staying, breathe on four-let strings, lean low, let piano leave space where meanings grow. If pride returns for a louder play, point it to bread and let it stray. Light learns to stay, it doesn't beg for proof. Climbs a slave of an ordinary roof, pours through the rooms I used to grade. No trumpet, no parade, just mercy without sway. I open both my hands and watch the light learn how to stay. There's a drawer of unmailed lines, letters to bridges and winter vines. I send a few with kind of ink, I keep a few so time can think. The mirror does a gentler job, leaves out the blade, keeps in the sob. A button patience, stitch and neat, wear it where my pulse can meet. The man I was is not a ghost, he sets the table, pours the toast. We eat our peace in common clay, the living proof the light can stay. count to 4 till the heart stands sure. Let quiet be strong and good be pure. If memory begs for a harsher day, I turn the lamp and let it pray. I learned to stay. It doesn't beg for proof. It climbs the slate of an ordinary roof. Pours through the rooms I used to grade. No trumpet, no parade, just mercy without sway. I open both my hands and watch the light learn how to stay. Bring me the locks I forced for show, I'll oil them now and let them go. Bring me the names I said too sharp, I'll speak them soft, teach night to heart. Bring me the miles I sprinted then, I'll walk them back with broader skin. Let's slide the tar band once, then rest. Let bass keep time inside the chest. If victory wants a neon sign, give it supper, salt and time. If power asks what it's for today, to keep the light and let it stay. Say less, stand plain, count to 4, remain. A letter arrives with a thank you hand, about that gate you came to mend. I fold the note the quiet way, a small receipt for a brighter day. The mailbox hums a copper cord, the porch boards nod like they're restored. I sweep the dust, I spare the bees, I leave the clover for their ease. The sky puts silver on the lane, and even shadows lose their strain. They're only proof of what light says. I'm here, I'm warm, I'll stay. Hold that 4, let the snare lie low. Let the organ breathe and the strings say go. If glory taps with a borrowed play, offer a chair, then fade a day. Light learns to stay. It doesn't beg for proof. It climbs a slate of an ordinary roof. Pours through the rooms I used to grade. No trumpet, no parade, just mercy without sway. I open both my hands and watch the light learn how to stay. I sit with dust like an old good friend, naming the ways we didn't bend, the doors we hold, the words we saved, the hours we gave to the unenslaved. I phone the man I used to fear. We trade our names and drop a year. No ledger speaks, no tally calls, just space enough for mercy's walls. And when I hang the gentle line, I feel the color turn from wine to wheat to bread to daily grace. The light keeps finding my face. The light learns to stay. It doesn't beg for proof. It climbs the slate of an ordinary roof. Pours through the rooms I used to crave, editing distant bells and gray, and has a odor kind that pay. No crime or stage or rage is well and breathe a look and make. A lot of woes deep anchor cry now. A tear to cools from man to a man. That ain't no wrong to met him play. The wagon harder to the weight and God. The lamp still glows where her shadow stayed. The sheets remember every vow we made. The air still hums her name in smoke. Each breath I take feels half broke. The room's too small for the truth I hide. The clock ticks slow, takes love's side. In the night, she knows the bed don't lie. I kept her voice
voice in a drawer of dreams, between the laughter and the scream. Her touch still burns on my left hand, a ghost that time don't understand. The whiskey whispers let her go, but I drink slow, I already know. She left the room but stayed inside, 'cause the bed don't lie. Her hair still caught on the cotton thread, her scent still sleeps when my heart once bled. Every morning feels like crime. The sunlight hurts, it steals my time. The coffee's cold, the cup still waits, like the heart that love negates. The truth sits here unamplified. The bed don't lie. Ain't no preacher need to tell my sin. A ghost still crawls beneath my skin. I built these walls but they still speak, whispering her name each lonely week. No hymn can drown the way she sighed, no cross can wash the tears I hide. And when the dark begins to slide, the bed don't lie. So pour one for the man who let her stay inside his bones. Oh, she walked away, laugh slow, the gentle kind, but the bed don't lie behind his mind. It hums a song in sheets of white, cold where love once burned so bright. I ain't searching peace tonight, 'cause the bed don't lie. I sleep on one half, the other's hers, like two worlds split by whispered words. Her pillow sinks like memories weight, still warm with everything I hate. The window hums her tune again, I breathe her in and curse her name. No truth left here to justify, 'cause the bed don't lie. I found a note beneath the frame. It didn't say much, just signed her name. No love, you know I'll be fine. Just silence carved between the lines. The ink was dry, the words were true. She said, you'll know what I can't tell you. Now every night I ask her why, but the bed don't lie. The man in the mirror looks back slow, says you reap the seeds you let her sow. He's tired, calm, just like me, living in the space where ghosts still breathe. He don't judge, he just recalls every promise scratched on these walls. And he says low, like a lullaby, the bed don't lie. I used to laugh when the rain would fall. Now I just wait for her to call. Her voice comes soft through thunder's hum. Love ain't dead, it's just gone numb. Each tear I hide feels justified. Each silence sounds like her goodbye. No preacher left to sanctify, 'cause the bed don't lie. can't move on, who sleeps alone but dreams she's gone. He hums her name to the ceiling side, yeah, the bed don't lie. Raise your glass to the ghost of touch, the love that burns a bit too much. No redemption, no alibi, the bed don't lie. The night hums low, the blues stay long. The sheets remember her final song. I reach for her shadow, it slips through, just like every prayer I try to do. Each note I play, the silence replies. Each chord confesses, each echo cries. And in the hush I testify, 'cause the bed don't lie. I ain't holy, I ain't free, but her ghost still keeps time with me. If heaven's soft, she ain't that kind. She lives in the corners of my mind. I see a smile where the curtains fall, a sin so sweet it forgives it all. And though the night pretends to die, the bed don't lie. Ain't no choir to sing our tune, just a hum of lost beneath the moon. The sheets breathe out a soft reply, the bed don't lie. No mercy here, no warm disguise, just the truth that memory buys. I fade, I fold, I testify, the bed don't.
D minor dawn on a water skin, mist writes cursive where banks begin. Gravel listens, reeds lean slow, piano of droplets counting gold. I touch the rail and feel time run. This river moves, but forgets no one. I walk beside this faithful vein, through winter glass and summer rain. It kept my secrets, learned my stride, fouled my anger, gentled pride. I threw a stone when I was young, a vow that bent a stubborn tongue. The circles widen, found their song, they're singing still, the river's drum. I thought I left those echoes then, but water keeps what shapes a man. Count to four with the ribs, not pride. Let breathe be the long, clear guide. If memory begs for a brighter gun, point to the current. It forgets no one. The river forgets no one. It carries, doesn't erase. It smooths the names we carve and leaves them in their place. No judgment in its running, no scoreboard in its run. It holds the world in motion. The river forgets no one. A widow folds a letter thin, drops it in like a trusted hymn. Fence still holds her script confessed. The water tucks it to its chest. Two kids throw sticks and count to four. Each choice chooses its farther shore. They cheer for the one that learns to bend. They watch the stubborn sink and end. I'm not like maps that finally know. You move by yield and more than go. What couldn't listen came undone, but mercy swam, it drowned no one. Breathe on for let strings lean low. Let piano leave space where meanings grow. If pride returns with a hurried tongue, set it to water. It forgives no one. The river forgets no one. It carries, doesn't erase. It smooths the names we called and leaves them in their place. No judgment in its running, no scoreboard in its run. It holds the world in motion. The river forgets no one. I kept a drawer of unmailed lines, apologies stitched to winter vines. I read them here and tear them slow, like petals training grief to grow. The pages drift in softened bits, become a school of tender wits. A cock turns once a heron bows, a river signs the gentler vows. It doesn't lift me out of pain, it teaches names for honest rain. I learned to stand where truths are spun, not to be spotless, just become. Count to 4 till the heart stands sure. Let quiet be strong and good be pure. If thunder begs for a borrowed gun, show it these banks, they shoot no one. The river forgets no one. It carries, doesn't erase. It smooths the names we carved and leaves them in their place. No judgment in its running, no scoreboard in its run. It holds the world in motion. The river forgets no one. Bring me the locks I forced for show, I'll oil them now and let them go. Bring me the names I said too hard, I'll speak them soft in the backyard. Bring me the miles I sprinted, then I'll walk them back with broader skin. Let finger-picked guitar bend once, then rest. Let bass keep time inside the chest. If victory wants a neon sun, feed it bread by the river's run. Because power without kindness is only one, and rivers keep the ledger. They forget no one. Say less, stand plain, count to 4, remain. Across the bend, the factory wall, rust and ivy equal draw. The river eats the iron's pride, turns red to brown, then lets it slide. Even the worst it learns to lift, not to pretend but give it drift. A bottle note inside my hand, a boy's small script, a future plan. I'll learn to fix, I'll learn to stay. I'll make the doors behave this way. I seal it back and trust the run. Some other shore will meet that sun. Click, pray, let mercy sign the day. If history asks what we've become, point at the water. It forgets no one. The river forgets no one. It carries, doesn't erase. It smooths the names we call and leaves them in their place. No judgment in its running, no scoreboard in its run. It holds the world in motion. The river forgets no one. The river forgets no one. It carries, doesn't erase. Write it in reeds and walking stones, and bridges strong and humble homes. No brightest crown, no loud enthroned, just breathing bread and labor grown. If I am gone,
doors breathe wide like they know my name. The floor holds steady, the bass the same. The smoke draws crowns on amber stone. A hush reveals what I have grown. No banners raised, no trumpets blown, just breathing time and bone on bone. In the night she smiles because I've shown you don't have to roar to claim your throne. I walked the length of crowded years, past ash and oath and cheaper cheers. I learned to trade the spark for coal, to keep the heat and save the soul. I left the race to those who ran. I kept my pulse, refined my plan. Now rooms lean in like carved in stone to hear the reign of the quiet throne. Dropped the need to win on sight. I chose the long, deliberate night. I tuned my breath to slower keys. I let my anger learn to breathe. I filed my pride until it shone. A tool not matched to flesh to bone. And in that light, the truth was known. The calmest crown is the quiet throne. Ain't no preacher sells his grace. You buy it slow, you learn your pace. You keep your word and sharpen less. You let restraint replace excess. You trust the air you're standing on. You let the storm move through and gone. When noise begs blood from skin and stone, you answer with a quiet throne. So pour one for the man who doesn't chase, whose steady eyes can clear a place. He laughs low, his proof is grown. He rules the night from a quiet throne. It hums like oak, it shines like dawn. A crown you feel though nothing's drawn. I ain't pleading fate or loan. I wear the weight of a quiet throne. The barmaid knows the weather here. She sets the glass and stills the fear. The snare ticks off, the kick says stay. The organ threads a velvet way. Men measure men in restless tones. I let their thunder pass like stones. By the time the talk has flown, they're kneeling to a quiet throne. Speak once, speak true, then let it stand. Keep warm your fire, cool your hand. Treat pride like glass, polished store. Spend less today, hold something more. Forgive, but never lose the chart. Trust patience, scars, not racing hearts. A kingdom's not in steel alone. It's breath that builds a quiet throne. The man in the mirror tips his head, says, son, you found the path instead. It wasn't rage, it wasn't speed. It wasn't hunger dressed as need. It was the way you didn't push, the way you turned a riot hush. No flags, no drums, no iron groan, just presence and a quiet throne. A murmur swells from jealous throats, a tide of sparks on cashiered notes. They bait my edge to brighter leaps. They want the fire that no one keeps. I raise one palm, a fraction slow. The storm forgets which way to go. The bass resumes, the doubt is flown, obedient to the quiet throne. Pour one for the man who reads the waves, who lets the fire remain its slave. He hums low, all battles known. He bends the dark with a quiet throne. Raise your glass to iron grace, to breathe that calms a crowded place. No roar, no blade, no overthrown, just sovereign heat and quiet throne. A single band becomes a door. A room steps through and asks for more. A ribbon, reverb, and baton turns noise to air and fear to bone. I set the groove where faith has grown. No hurry, just just a tempered zone, and in that hush the crown is shown, weightless, like a quiet throne. I just have learned what I'll endure. I let the chase fall off the map. I traded sprint for patient lap. I let the past keep what it owns. I kept the lesson in my bones. I left the world as sharp in tone. I took the peace of a quiet throne. Ain't no choir singing up my name, just bass and breathing gentle flame. No trumpet calls, no gilded loan, just proof that stands when night is blown. You want the key, then stand alone and learn to need no borrowed tone. When questions rise from flesh and stone, you let them bow to the quiet throne. So pour one for the ones who chose to wait, who turned down speed and walked with faith. He laughs low, the work is done. He rules the dusk with a quiet throne. No crown to weigh, no debt to own, just breathe that makes the dark a home. And when I fade, carved into stone, I love the night and a quiet throne. The sandbright kings has held the crown, and whilst their palace is bound down, I'll cease my mortal light of weed that hold the rim with leathern sheets, and left forgets the ones who know till bleed the fire, sauced and soul.